Good morning, everybody. So this morning's video, we're going to page 307 in our textbook, and we're going to look at the problem here about Hector. Now, remember, we have to keep in mind that we're going to use that blue box in the top right corner. That's going to help us with our questions, just like on our word problems that we were doing before we left. So the word problem is, Hector has 12 rocks from a nearby state park. He puts an equal number of rocks in each of 3 boxes. How many rocks are in each box? Then it says when you multiply, you put equal groups together. When you divide, you're separating into equal groups. Now, one thing I want to point out, remember, we're separating a larger group into smaller equal groups. So we're going to have one large number, 12, and then we're going to separate it into 3 groups with an unknown number in each group. So then we're going to go down, and since we obviously don't have any of our class materials, we're going to use a sheet of paper, and we're going to skip from step 1 directly to step 2. And step 2 says we're going to draw 3 circles, so 1, 2, and 3. And then place 1 counter at a time until all 12 counters are used. So we can do that by doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then we're going to get our answer. And if we were writing this in our book, you're going to write, there are blank counters in each group, and you'll count there 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you have to remember to answer that second question if we were actually taking a larger test, and write the number 4 again, even though it seems a little bit like you're doing something more than once. So now we're going to skip to page 308, and we're going to look at the question that comes from Madison. So it says Madison has 15 rocks. She puts an equal number of rocks in 5 boxes. So then it says how many rocks are in each box. So what we're going to do, we're going to follow step 1, and we're going to draw 5 squares to show the boxes. And we can do that because it doesn't matter if we draw circles or squares. It just matters that we're drawing a container to put them in. And I will adjust the camera just so that you can see that a little bit better. All right, and now we're going to count to 15 by putting 1 dot in each box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And then we have our answer. There are 3 in each box. And then the second part is that we're going to say the number 3 again, 3 rocks in each box. Now, one thing I want you guys to do while we're working on this is I want you to take a look at how I drew my lines inside each box. I continued to draw my numbers in the same order. Well, not my numbers, but my counters. I continued to draw my counters in the same order each time I shared one of them. And the reason why that's important is later on when we're doing something, it helps us visually keep track of how we're arranging everything. If I had drawn them all over the place, like this, for example, I'm just going to do, I'm going to pick 10 counters, and I'm going to divide them into 2 boxes. And I'm just going to do 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, it's sloppy, but 2, it's harder to look at and make sure that I have everything. If I arrange everything nice and neatly, I can make sure that they're equal. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now I can look at it and say, I've got definitely 5 shapes inside each box when I want to go back and check my work. So just make sure that you're doing that when you're writing these today. And what we're going to do, you can refer to this video. Today, we're going to work on page 311. So on page 311, there's going to be 3 columns. We're only doing numbers 1 through 7, and I'll write this down. You're going to draw the equal groups first. So for number 1, I'm going to do number 1 right now. Number 1 says there are 15 counters and 3 equal groups. So I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to separate them by counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And then the third column, my answer will be 5, because I have exactly 5 in each group, and I know that I did it correctly because all of my pictures are the same. So as always, if you have any questions, you can leave them on Google Classroom, or your parents can leave them on Class Dojo. When you're finished with it, that'll be all of our assignments for today. Today is going to be our first day trying to use the Go Math book while we're doing distance learning. Thank you for listening, and as always, I miss you, and I hope to see you sooner than later.